Hey folks, hope you all are doing well. I'm Karan Bandal from Econosite, and in this video we'll look at the upcoming surge in India's consumer demand. India, a roughly $3.5 trillion economy, already boasts of a substantial consumer market. India's consumer market currently ranks 5th largest globally. This is set to become the world's 3rd largest by 2027 as the number of middle to high income households rise. By then, Indian households' disposable income should rise by a compounded 14.6% annually, and so a projected 25.8% of Indian households will reach $10,000 in annual disposable income. All that to say, Indians will have a lot of disposable cash which they would want to spend. Fitch Solutions forecasts that following this rise in incomes, the growth in India's household spending per capita will sustain at 7.8% year on year, outpacing that of other developing Asian economies like Indonesia, the Philippines, and Thailand. With such a healthy growth in expenditure, India's household spending will exceed $3 trillion by 2027. Now we can draw one key inference here. Consumption makes up 60 to 70% of India's economy. So, the household spending at $3 trillion puts the size of India's entire economy between $4.2 and $5 trillion by then, which should position India within a touching distance of being the 3rd largest economy in the world. India's large youth population is also a driving force behind increased consumer spending. Approximately a third of the country's population is estimated to be between 20 and 33 years old, and Fitch expects this group to spend big on electronics. The report predicts communication spending will grow by an average of 11.1% annually to reach over $76 billion by 2027. India's ongoing urbanization will also help boost consumer spending as companies can more easily access consumers and open more physical retail stores to cater to them. The government is doing its part in this urbanization story. Capital expenditure as a percentage of total government expenditure has doubled since 2010 to 22% this year. A record high allocation of $122 billion has been made for infrastructure this year. The outcomes have been striking. India has been adding 10,000 kilometers of highways annually. Since 2014, the number of airports has doubled, and an upgraded train system will have new high-efficiency freight corridors connecting the economic centers of India. In the private sector, we saw relevant developments in the recent past where Apple opened 2 retail stores in Mumbai and Delhi. Samsung announced in the same month that it will set up 15 premium experience stores across India. Note also, global investors such as Blackstone Group and APG Asset Management have injected more money into the country's shopping mall business to capitalize on consumer spending growth. Another factor that will contribute to this trend is the growth of ultra-wealthy. Ultra-wealthy individuals are defined as those who each have a net worth in excess of $30 million. Asia's number of ultra-wealthy people overtook the figure in Europe for the first time in 2019. Analysts predict Asia's share of ultra-high net worth individuals will continue to grow in the coming years and could hit 29% by 2027, almost doubling since 2004. While ultra-wealthy populations are set to increase across all world regions, Asia is forecast to see the strongest growth over the next 5 years. This is partly thanks to India's expanding economy, as well as a growing trend for businesses to diversify its supply chains away from the Chinese mainland and to instead relocate industrial, logistical, and real estate activities to other Asian markets. In the Indian context, therefore, this bodes well for luxury goods and services. All these developments are music to the ears of global firms facing sluggish demand in most global markets, but they need to keep one key idea in mind to succeed in India: context-appropriate innovation. International companies have often struggled to grasp what constitutes India's middle class and craft the appropriate value propositions. Competing in India means selling at much lower price points, which in turn requires reconfiguring activities, production, and supply chains in ways that are hard for competitors to mimic. For example, India's best-selling car is WagonR, priced at $7,000 and made by Japan's Suzuki. a company whose 41% market share in India is an outlier in the auto industry globally. In contrast, an average selling price for a new vehicle in the United States in 2022 was over $46,000. Clearly, you cannot expect to do well by bringing the same product to Indian market. Netflix discovered through its stumbles in the country it takes more than low prices to win in India. Localizing the content, working in multiple Indian languages, and leveraging synergies across products that Indian consumers want, as Amazon and Disney can do, is essential. McDonald's has incorporated vegetarian options, Indian snacks, and menus for multi-generational families. Those that crack the code of the Indian consumer, though, are handsomely rewarded. Many McDonald's franchises in India are billionaires. Havells, a home appliances manufacturer, introduced a product line with India-friendly solutions such as water purifiers and compressor-less air coolers, relevant to both the Indian consumers' needs and affordability. Since its listing 30 years back, Havells' profits have grown over 800 times and its market cap has jumped 5,800 times. In summary, several factors are lining up, putting India's growth prospects in a sweet spot. This is particularly impressive since most global markets face significant headwinds as we speak. Indian consumers' purchasing power will rise and firms will have to work smart to capture a piece of this fast expanding pie. One worrying trend for India's policymakers to watch: rise of super wealthy and worsening wealth inequality in India. I hope you found this analysis interesting. I'll speak with you again next week. Until then, take care.